Welcome, Dale Myers with Vision Advance. Today we're talking about the real reasons why we haven't been as successful as we like as an entrepreneur or as a leader in our profession, and 5 things we can do right now to fix it. And so when I say we hadn't been successful, I'm not talking about your value to humanity per se. I'm not talking. Sure, I'm a great dad and try to be a great husband, and I'm sure if you're married, you do the same. There are family members that value, friends that value you. You are ultimately a success in their life. But I'm talking about here in the construct of business and entrepreneurship within your professions. So certainly there are some known roadblocks, right? Access to resources, well, that plays a role if you're an entrepreneur. If you didn't start off with the right amount of money, then that's that's an ongoing challenge regardless. People, certainly there are some people that have been mean-spirited and tried to hold you back. Yes, and they're still going to be there. So I'm not dismissing that. I'm not discounting that. That's real. So there are lots of situations that have certainly played a role in how come we hadn't been successful. Maybe you were like me, you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you had to work your way from the bottom trying to get to the top. And it's been, a heck of a climb. It's been a fight. So the others that were born with more privilege, more access to capital and people had a easier road. That's real. But in the last 18 months or so, I've had a breakthrough. I did some soul searching when I wasn't able to reach some goals, and I started asking myself, how come these other people that have reached them, are they smarter than you? Perhaps, but I'm a pretty sharp knife. Do they work harder? Probably not. I'll go get it. Then what's the reason? And I could banter it around, but it came back to it's this dude. It's also you. We are the reason why we haven't had success yet. It's something that we haven't been doing. The good news is it's actually a fairly simple fix. It's simple, not easy. Let's do what the top people in our field do. Let's simply follow the footprints of success. First is accept responsibility. This is the first fix. We have to accept responsibility. And this is the toughest one. Some of y'all have already turned the video off or getting ready to because you're like, oh, it ain't me, the same old. No, I'm not telling you that person was not mean-spirited that did whatever they did to you. What I am saying to you, though, is that moving forward, let's look for skills we can use in the future to better predict when those kind of people are coming into our sphere of influence, so we have a plan for dealing with them so that they cannot sidetrack us. They can't be the roadblock that they were in the past. I'm not telling you that having to work a job or building a business is easy, and that it doesn't come with real life situations when you're trying to pay the bill, don't know exactly if you're gonna, it's the 5th and you're still not sure if you're gonna get that money. And I'm not telling you, yes, I've been there. Yes, I've been there more than once. So I'm not telling you that these situations aren't real. What I'm saying, though, is it's still on you. What could you have done differently in the past? There are some actions that we could have taken. So the first step is let's accept responsibility that, you know what? If I get better, my situation will get better. Because it's going to be tough. I guarantee you this. Winter is coming. There's a saying that says all of us are either in a crisis, coming out of a crisis, or moving into a crisis. So get ready. Winter's coming. So let's not wish for winter to be easier. Let's prepare to get more skills. That's the accept responsibility part. So I'm spending a little time here because this is the most important part. Accepting responsibility. And I really hope some of y'all can hear me, because once you do this, the world looks very different to you. It looks very different to you. When you go on your job, you can smile a little bit more, even if you don't like your job, because now you understand you got a plan. Related to that plan, so step number 1 was accept responsibility. Step number 2, let's come up with 10 powerful goals that stretch you. that you can do over the next year? What are 10 things that you could do, and if you did these things, your life would be significantly better? 10 things over the next year that you would like to accomplish. Write down these 10 things right now. You can pause the video right now and go ahead and listen to it to the end of the video, and then make your list. So I made a video. The first video was about all leaders and effective leaders and entrepreneurs take decisive action. And then the most recent video I did was about limiting the cost of failure. Well, right now, the way we take decisive action is to, and limit the cost of failure, is to write down 10 things that we could do in the next year that would stretch us. And if we hit them, our lives will be different. Now, after you've done that, here's the catch. Out of all these 10, what's the one thing that if you did that one, it will push you further towards the other ones? What's the one thing? And now that you've identified that one, focus all of your extra time and energy on that one thing. So that's a little bit about goals. Again, the top 1 to 3% of people in every field, this is part of what it is they do. This is why they are at the top. And the reality of it is, if we want to get there, let's just follow the roadmap, follow the footprints. I mean, I like problem solving and figuring stuff out on my own, but I've come to realize that I'm going to be me and still do some of that. Okay, but I'm also smart enough to follow the easy route, meaning if somebody else has done it, let me see what they're doing. And the top 1 to 3% of people in every field have clearly defined and written goals. I know some of y'all are like me. You're smart. You want to keep it all in your head. I did that for years. Yeah. Still, people that are just as smart as us, but are also in the top 1 to 3% in their field, they're writing them down and they're measuring them and checking them against, the progress that they thought they would make. And they have set times at which they measure them. Yeah, it's a little bit more than keeping it all in your head. But, we're actually going to do a whole series on goal setting coming down the road. But I know that some of y'all are just like I used to be, right? Okay, it's going to hit you later. So step 1 was accept responsibility. Step 2, 10 goals. Step 3 was if I could only do one of those things. So identify the one that is the driver of success. The one goal out of those 10 that's the driver. That's the third one. And then now ask yourself, how? This is the powerful word, 3-letter word. How? How will I get it done? Okay. Related to that, number 4, what skill or skills will I need in order to accomplish that goal? The biggest goal. How will I accomplish it? Okay, so we're teasing this out a little bit more. How will I accomplish it? And that's related to, you have to be a lifelong learner. If you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, if you're going to be someone in your church organization, in your household, in your community that provides value, some form of leader, you have to be a lifelong learner, committing to giving yourself additional skills. And we need to ask, how are we going to do it? Okay. And so step number 5 is, this one is critical too. It's a 2-part question. Whose help will I need along the way in order to accomplish this goal? So step 3 was what's the goal? Step 4 was what skills do I need? Step 5 is whose help will I need? Write down these people. List these people. Or organizations. These could be organizations. Part B of step 5 is whose help or who will stand in my way? What organization, what people will be standing in my way? Unfortunately, it could be someone very close to you. Girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse. Yeah, that's real. This is part of life, but we better be prepared to deal with it. So part of that is to say, what can we do to try to get them on board? Decide, can you make them an ally, or at best just someone that'll agree to disagree and stay out of your way? Because if not, separate. yourself. I'm not telling you necessarily separate yourself from your wife, but I'm telling you that you have to you have to be clear on who you need in your life. You have to be clear on who you do not need in your life. So again, our challenge today was to identify the real reason why we haven't been as successful as we would like as an entrepreneur and as a leader. And we talked about 5 things we could do immediately, because remember, all leaders take decisive action, and we want to limit the cost of failure. We know we need to fail. We have failed. We're going to learn from it and move rapidly. So today, decisive action. Number 1, take responsibility. It's my mess up. Great. I now know it. I'm going to correct the problem. Here we go. It's just like driving, man. I'm looking in the left, looking to the right, looking in the rear view mirror. I see what I did in the past, and I am adjusting. Baby, that's all business is. That's all business is. It is steering. It is steering, looking around, adjusting. Pump the brakes when you need to. Turn left, turn right. Throttle down and go when you need to go. So again, step 1, accept responsibility. Step 2, list 10 goals that will stretch you for this year. Write them down. Get it out of your head. Step 3, list the one goal that out of all of those 10, if I accomplish this one, it would significantly propel my life. Step 4, ask how. How will I do this? Well, that's related to step 3. You ask, how will I accomplish that goal? And step 4 is, what skills do I need to accomplish that goal? Step 5 then is, whose help will I need, or who do I need to get rid of in order to accomplish these goals? And that includes organizations. So I hope this has been helpful. I would also love to hear what's the one big thing that you intend to accomplish next year, or what's the one skill that you think will change your life moving forward? I would love to hear that in the comments below. If you like the video, thumbs up, please. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends. My name is Dale Myers with Vision Advance. It's been a pleasure to serve you. Thank you.